Hello friends, welcome back. You are joining with me for Ancillary Physics 3, Electricity and Electronics. We are discussing unit number 3. Now, let's see what is deadbeat and ballistic galvanometer. Deadbeat and ballistic galvanometer. So these both are two different types of moving coil galvanometer. A moving coil galvanometer can be classified into two types. One is deadbeat and the next one is ballistic galvanometer. Ballistic. A moving coil galvanometer is said to be deadbeat when the rectangular coil is wound on the metallic frame. When a coil, the conducting coil is wound on a metallic frame, it will create more damping, more electromagnetic damping on the system, which prevents oscillating of the system. Does it mean we are passing a constant current through that conducting coil? If you do that, what happens? There is a standard deflection. Once after removing the current, if the coil is wound on a metallic frame, then this deflection that is created on the spot of the light will come back to the zero. Nothing more happen on deadbeat galvanometer. While if we consider ballistic galvanometer, there we are not passing the constant current, rather we are passing a current for a momentary time, which creates not a deflection, which creates impulse, right? In the previous case, this deflection is created because of the constant torque. In the present case, that is on the ballistic galvanometer, it creates an impulse. That impulse creates a fast deflection. Once this impulse is given for a momentary time, what happens? This spot of the light will go for a deflection to the maximum extremum end to one direction, then it comes back to zero and it goes back to the another direction and it keep on oscillating slowly, then it's dying towards zero. There exists an oscillation, right? This oscillation is called beat, vibration, oscillation, that is called beat, which is absent in the first case. It is present in the second case. So that in simple, the moving coil galvanometer is said to be deadbeat when the coil is wounded on the metallic frame. If the coil is wounded on the non-metallic frame, then it is said to be ballistic galvanometer. What are the conditions for moving coil galvanometer which is said to be deadbeat, which is creating deadbeat? So conditions for deadbeat. Condition number 1. Moment of inertia should be small. In converse to that, this side in ballistic galvanometer, moment of inertia will be higher. Okay. And the second point, this one, coil should be mounted on a conducting frame. Here it should be mounted on a non-conducting frame. And third point, we are suspending this moving coil in a torsional wire. The thickness of that wire should be thicker. Thickness of the torsional wire should be thicker. Here it should not be thicker, it is right. It should be the thickness will be fine. There is a fine thickness, very small thickness wire is used. And the fourth point is, here we take a little extra caution or a little extra measure in order to minimize the air resistance. Air dragging resistance is small when compared with this case. So these are the conditions in order to achieve deadbeat and ballistic galvanometers. Fine. What is the difference? Differences between deadbeat galvanometer and ballistic galvanometer. What are the differences? So in deadbeat galvanometer we measure the current. It measures current. Here it measures charge. We are applying constant current through the deadbeat galvanometer, D'Arsonval moving coil galvanometer, in other words it is called, where we can measure current, small current actually. Small current, while in the ballistic galvanometer we measure the charge, not the current. And here, in order to measure the current, the steady deflection is used. That is, the spot of the light that has a steady deflection. From the zero, it moving to some other point and it stays there until we remove the current. While here, we are using a throw, right? And a momentary passing of current that creates a throw in the spot of the light. The maximum throw is measured, from which we are making the calculation. So his throw is measured. Okay. And after the steady deflection, there is no oscillation here. Once you are removing the current, the spot of the light will come back to zero. Whereas here there exists an oscillation. On the application of the impulse and the application of the momentary charge and the ballistic galvanometer, there exists a throw. Subsequently, this part of the light will go for a back and forth oscillation, and before it is dying to zero. So that there exists an oscillation with a definite frequency. And these are the other points that we have mentioned here. In deadbeat galvanometer, the coil is wound on a metallic frame. Here it is wound on a metallic frame, while it is wound on a non-metallic frame. Okay. And another point, here damping is high, wire thickness is high, damping is high, here damping is low. That is electromagnetic damping, that is important. Electromagnetic damping is high, here damping is small. And wire thickness, wire has higher thickness, what wire? Suspension wire. Suspension wire has higher thickness, here it has small thickness. Okay, here air resistance may be large, here it is small. Air resistance is small. So these are the differences between deadbeat and ballistic galvanometer. So deadbeat galvanometer and ballistic galvanometer both are one and same, which is nothing but the moving coil galvanometer. But there has some characteristic differences, so that we have the different applications for these two instruments. So classification, conditions for achieving these two different instruments, and the characteristic differences between deadbeat and ballistic galvanometers. Measurement of charge sensitiveness or figure of merit of ballistic galvanometer. It is denoted by K. Charge sensitiveness or figure of merit of ballistic galvanometer. What is the equation for passing the charge through the ballistic galvanometer? The equation to measure the charge that is passed through the ballistic galvanometer is T pi 2 pi multiplied by C pi NBA theta 1 plus lambda by 2. And this you can write K times theta 1 plus lambda by 2 as Q. Right? So this K is called charge sensitiveness or figure of merit. It is also known as ballistic reduction factor. It is also known as ballistic reduction factor. And how to calculate this? And before that, what is the definition for the charge sensitiveness or figure of merit? We have already studied voltage sensitiveness and current sensitiveness for an D'Arsonval moving coil galvanometer. And the similar fashion, here we can define that right? The charge that circulate through the moving coil, right? The charge circulate through the moving coil. Let's have the formal definition. So definition, the charge that should circulate through the moving coil to produce an undamped throw of 1 millimeter in the spot of the light on a scale placed 1 meter from the mirror. This is the formal definition. What is that? The charge that should circulate through the moving coil to produce an undamped throw of 1 mm in the spot of the light on a scale placed 1 meter from the mirror. Right? So from the mirror, a scale is placed at 1 meter distance. Now we are applying a current that creates a throw. If that throw produces 1 mm of deflection, then what's required? For that condition, what's the ballistic reduction factor? That is said to be the charge sensitiveness of this instrument. And how to measure that? The experimental setup consisting of the following. It consisting of a battery, it consisting of a key, and it consisting of a 2 resistance box P and Q. Almost in all the experiments, this part is constant. There won't be not bigger change in this part, the top part. So battery, key, resistance box P and Q. In general, this P and Q is used as a decade resistance box. That is, you can change the values in terms of tens multiplication. If you're having 1 ohms, then you can multiply 1, 2, 3. Then tens, 10, 20, 30. Then hundreds, 100, 200, 400. In that way you can measure. So it's called a decade resistance box. We use decade resistance box in the place of P and Q. Then there is a capacitor connected between P. Right? One end of the capacitor is connected to P. Another end of the capacitor is connected to charge discharge key, or you can say that vibrator. Right? A vibrator terminal, the charging terminal is connected to the another end of the P, and there is a discharge terminal, and right, and this side it is output, vibrator output. It is capacitor C. It is capacitor C. Now a ballistic galvanometer is connected in such a way that this discharge key and the line from the left part of the resistor is connected on one pair, and in the other pair ballistic galvanometer is connected. Ballistic galvanometer is connected in other pair, and this is called DP-DT switch, and this setup is called vibrator. There is a setup here. This is called vibrator, and there is a setup here. This is called DP-DT. So here V stands for vibrator. That is, it is used to charge and discharge. This purpose is charge and discharge. Okay, another one is dB dt, it's a switch. Expansion is double pole, double through. It is used to change the polarity of the input. Double pole, double through. Okay. So this is the experimental setup that is used in order to measure the charge sensitiveness of the ballistic galvanometer. So what actually happened is, initially we have to set the resistance at P is 1000 ohms, then at Q is 9000 ohms, so that the summation of the resistance is 1000 plus 9000, 10,000 ohms. And there will be a potential difference across the resistor P. So that is used to charge the capacitor C when this charge key is connected with the capacitor line. Once it is fully charged, the charge in the capacitor is used to discharge through the ballistic galvanometer by changing the vibratory key from charge to discharge. So it will momentarily, the entire charge in the capacitor will momentarily discharge to the ballistic galvanometer. We will get a throw on the one side. Now again we change the key from discharge to charge. What happens is the capacitor is again getting charged. In that time we change the key, dP dt switch. We change one side to other side. So that now if you change the key from charge to discharge, what would happen? Now there exists again throw on the ballistic galvanometer, but in opposite direction. So we can measure that through, and we can take the average. We will get a theta, and we can substitute that theta here, and we can calculate the lambda by measuring the first throw and the 11th throw. First throw and the 11th throw. From that we can calculate lambda, other things, C, N, B, A. C is the current, N is the number of coils wounded, and B is the magnetic induction, A is the area of the coil, T is the period of oscillation of the beat, and pi is the constant 3.142. So all these things were constant. Applying it, and if we rewrite this equation for K, then you will able to get the charge sensitiveness of this ballistic galvanometer. Okay, and that is the thing. So for that, let the capacitance. For that, let the capacitance of this capacitor is equal to C. Okay. Now, what is the charge in this capacitor C? Charge in the capacitor Q, which is nothing but C multiplied by V. Okay. This V is nothing but what we are potential difference, what we are measuring between this resistance P, right? So potential difference across P, which is nothing but V, which is equal to, what is that? The resistance at P and the sum of the resistance P plus Q multiplied by the potential applied, that is E. Okay, this is the expression. Charge in the capacitor. So it is said to be Farad. Fine. And now this charge, which one? This charge will produce a throw in the ballistic galvanometer. An equation for the true throw, right? An undamped throw. The equation for the undamped throw. We can measure the throw, and undamped throw is nothing but theta, that is the created measured throw is theta 1. So this theta 1 plus 1 by 1 plus lambda by 2, that will give you the undamped throw. Okay, we can get that also. Now we can write, right, this charge is used to create this undamped throw. So that this charge and this undamped throw both are equal, so that equation for undamped throw is k theta 1 plus lambda by 2. So this entire thing will give you the charge used to create an undamped oscillation, right? Fine, which is equal to the potential applied, that is PE, this P plus Q, PE plus P plus Q, right? This charge, not potential difference, right? This is the expression for charge. So right side we have another expression, this charge. What is the charge used to create the deflection in the ballistic galvanometer? That is the charge on the capacitor. So that what is the charge on the capacitor? Here, potential difference, charge into capacitance is potential difference. Capacitance multiplied by potential difference. Capacitance C, potential difference V is P by P plus Q into E. PE by P plus Q multiplied by C, right? Both are equal. So left hand side equal right hand side. This also represents charge Q and this also represents charge Q. So this charge Q is nothing but the charge in the capacitor, and this charge Q is used to create a ballistic, create a deflection in the throw in the ballistic galvanometer, but both are same. This charge in the capacitor alone used to create a deflection in the ballistic galvanometer, so that these two things are equal. And now we can rewrite this equation for K. What is that? You can write PE, or we can write, what is that? We can write on different way. We can write EC by P plus Q multiplied by P by theta 1 plus lambda by 2, right? This is, and you can write what is that? Where so unit of this will be Coulomb per division. This is the charge sensitiveness of the ballistic galvanometer. And if you want to calculate the lambda, you can write that you have to calculate first throw and 11th throw, and we can write the formula for that. We have already written 1 by 10 log into the base theta 1 by theta 11, or this you can write 3026 by 10 log to the base 10 theta 1 by theta 11. Okay, these are the formulas which is used to calculate the current sensitiveness, right? Now we need to make a tabulation for writing theta 1, tabulation for calculating theta 1, because other factors are also for P and Q, for different P and Q. This is for P equal to 1000. That is what we have started in the beginning, right? And if you create a change, that is if you change the P from 1000 ohms to 2000 ohm and 2000 ohms to 3000 ohm, by keeping the sum, that is P plus Q equal to 10,000, we will get different deflections, different theta 1s, and by taking the average and applying it in the equations, you will get the exact value for the K and K by using lambda in this factor. So the thing is, we need to make the tabulation. So let me draw the tabulation here. Let me sketch the tabulation for this experiment here. So we have started with P. The unit for P is ohms. Then Q, it is also ohms. Then throw in the ballistic galvanometer. Throw observed in ballistic galvanometer. What is that? So we can observe throw in left side theta 1, and we need theta 11, and corrected throw, you can write corrected throw as theta, which is nothing but theta 1 plus 1 plus lambda by 2. Similarly, you can take the throw in the right hand side theta 1 theta 11 and corrected throw theta. The same formula we can apply. Now we can write mean throw theta. Then we can write P by Q, right? We can write P by Q. So this is the tabulation. Okay, what we will do, how to fill this tabulation? First we will set 10,000 at P, sorry 1000 at P. So 1000 ohms, so that here it will be 9000 ohms, and we will measure the deflection, the throw, maximum throw, first maximum throw, that is theta 1, right? Something say x1. Then theta 11th throw, that is x2 for example, and you can calculate lambda by applying the formula 2.3026 divided by 10 log to the base 10 theta 1 by theta 11. Applying this, you will get the expression value for lambda, and you know what is theta 1 and you know what is lambda, that you can obtain from that formula. Using this formula you can write theta, right? So this you can say this theta 1, right, theta prime for example, first case, or let's write in head you can write theta 1. Now what we will do, we will this is for one position, and you change the position of the dp dt, and again you charge and discharge. Now we will get the deflection at the other side, for example right side, and again you can measure what is theta 1, what is theta 2, let's say y1 and y2, theta 1 and theta 11. Applying again theta 1, theta 11 in the formula for lambda, you will get what is lambda. Then substitute that in this equation. This equation applies here also, that is here also theta 1 multiplied by 1 plus lambda by 2. So you substitute the value for lambda and you substitute the value for theta 1, right, and you will get this theta. Okay, that you can write theta power 2. Right? If you want mean theta, you have to write this theta 1 plus theta 2. You add these two things, then divided by 2. You will get mean theta. And if you want P by Q and divide this value from 1000, you will get this value. Say for example N1. Now what you have to do is we have to increase the value of P 2000. But what we have to maintain? We have to maintain P plus Q is equal to constant. It should be 10,000. So in that case, if P becomes 2000, what it would be? Q, that will be 8000. Now do these calculations. You find the left throw, first throw and 11th throw, and right side first throw and 11th throw, and you do the calculations, you will end up with N2. In that way you will get, there are N readings for P by Q, NN. Right? Now you will get this tabulation. You apply the required parameters in the equation, then you can able to calculate what is the figure of merit of the ballistic galvanometer. So in this lecture, we have discussed what is a deadbeat moving coil galvanometer, what is ballistic galvanometer. Then we have described the detailed procedure to measure the charge sensitiveness or the figure of merit of the ballistic galvanometer. So with this, let me stop here, and we will resume back in the next lecture whereby we will discuss the comparison of capacitances and the comparison of EMFs, electromagnetic forces, that is the batteries, using the ballistic galvanometer. Okay, until then, be safe, bye.